Hello, my good friends. How are you today? May God bless you all. I will not introduce anything. You guys watch the video and feel it, then let's evaluate together. Rain hammered down on Harlem like it had a personal grudge. The kind of downpour that turned 125th Street into a river, tires hissing through puddles, horns blaring like a pissed-off symphony. Kenya Jackson cursed under her breath, wrestling her beat-up soul food cart through the mess. The thing was a relic, wood-chipped, wheels squeaking, loaded with sweet potato pies and spicy cornbread squares wrapped in foil. Her grandma's recipes, the only damn thing keeping her afloat these days. She yanked her hood tighter, rainwater dripping off the torn edge, soaking her braids. Her old Converse squelched with every step, and the wind kept trying to snatch the cart right out of her hands. "Move your ass, lady," a cabbie yelled, leaning on his horn. She flipped him off without looking, too busy fighting the storm. Nyla was waiting at home with Uncle Marvin, probably bitching about the mac and cheese being cold. Kenya had promised to be back by 6, but this rain wasn't letting up, and the last thing she needed was her 10-year-old giving her that side-eye again. She glanced at her phone. 5:47 p.m. "Shit, not today," she muttered, shoving it back in her pocket. That's when it happened. The cart hit a slick patch, one wheel catching on a crack in the sidewalk. She yanked it hard, but the wind had other plans. The whole damn thing lurched, skidded off the curb, and slammed into something solid with a sickening crunch. Sweet potato pies flew like grenades, splattering across a sleek black Porsche parked too close to the corner. Cornbread chunks bounced off the hood, foil flapping in the breeze. The cart tipped, one leg buckling, and Kenya stumbled back, hands on her head, staring at the chaos. "Motherfucker!" she shouted, kicking the curb like it'd fix anything. The rain kept pouring, turning the mess into a soggy crime scene. Orange pie streaking down the car's grill, cornbread crumbling into the gutter. She crouched to grab the cart, but a shadow loomed over her, cutting through the storm's roar. "You hit my car." The voice was low, clipped, pissed. She straightened up, squinting through the rain. A tall white guy stood there, maybe mid-30s, dripping wet in a tailored suit that probably cost more than her rent. Dark hair plastered to his forehead, jaw tight, eyes narrow like he was sizing her up. Marcus Kane, CEO of Kane Energy. She didn't know that yet, but the vibe screamed money and trouble. He stepped closer, staring at the Porsche like it was his kid bleeding out. Kenya wiped rain off her face, planting her hands on her hips. "Yeah, well, it's just a scratch. Chill out, man." He blinked, slow, like she'd slapped him. "A scratch? That's a $200,000 car, and you're telling me to chill?" "Ain't my fault your rich ass parked it in my lane," she shot back, gesturing at the street. "This cart's all I got, and now it's fucked 'cause of this damn storm. We even?" Marcus snorted, pulling out his phone. "Not even close. I'm calling the cops." Her stomach dropped. Cops meant paperwork, fines, maybe worse. She couldn't afford that, not with Nyla's school fees due and Marvin's insulin running low. She stepped in front of him, close enough to smell his cologne through the rain. Something sharp, expensive, cutting through the wet asphalt stink. "Whoa, hold up. No need to snitch over some pie, all right? Let's work this out." He paused, thumb hovering over the screen, looking down at her. She was shorter, curvier, her tank top clinging under the ripped raincoat, braids swinging as she talked fast. "Work it out how? You gonna magic this dent away?" "Look, I bake for a living, right? Soul food, pies, cornbread, coffee that'll wake your ass up. I'll hook you up every day till we're square. Better than dealing with NYPD on a Friday night, trust me." She flashed a grin, half charm, half desperation, water dripping off her lashes. Marcus's eyes flicked over her, quick, sharp, like he was cataloging every detail. The scar on her cheek from that fight back in high school, the way her hips filled out those soaked jeans. He didn't smile, but something shifted in his face, a crack in the ice. "You're serious?" "Dead ass. You want cash? I ain't got it. You want food? I'm your girl." She bent down, salvaging a soggy pie tin, holding it up like evidence. "This shit's good too. My grandma's recipe. People line up for it." He crossed his arms, rain sliding off his sleeves. "That dent's worth more than your whole setup, you know that?" "Yeah, and your car's still prettier than my life. So let's call it even, with some free eats." She stood straighter, meeting his stare. Up close, he wasn't just some stiff in a suit. Broad shoulders, a shadow of stubble, a tattoo peeking out under his collar. Her pulse kicked up, and she hated it. He didn't say anything for a second, just watched her, rain drumming on the Porsche's roof. Then he pocketed his phone. "Fine, 1 week. Coffee and whatever this is." He nodded at the pie. "Every morning, 7:30 sharp. My office, Kane Energy, Midtown. Don't be late, or I'm pressing charges." "Deal." She stuck out a wet hand. He looked at it, then shook it. Firm, quick, his fingers warm against her cold skin. She pulled back fast, ignoring the jolt. "Name's Kenya, by the way." "Marcus." He turned back to the car, muttering, "This better be worth it." She smirked, dragging her busted cart upright. "Oh, it will be. See you tomorrow, Marcus." He didn't look back, just slid into the driver's seat and peeled off, taillights cutting through the storm. Kenya stood there, rain soaking her to the bone, pie tins scattered around her feet. "What the hell did I just sign up for?" she said to no one, then hauled the cart toward home. The next morning, Harlem woke up grumpy, sky still gray, but dry. Kenya was up at 5 a.m., swearing at her ancient coffee maker as it sputtered like a dying engine. Nyla shuffled into the kitchen, her braids messy, clutching a dog-eared copy of The Hunger Games. "Mama, why you up so early? You baking for that car guy?" "Yeah, baby. And don't start with me." Kenya stirred a pot of coffee, the rich smell filling their cramped apartment. The place was a mess, dishes in the sink, Marvin's jazz records stacked on the couch, Nyla's comics everywhere, but it was theirs. "Gotta keep his ass from suing us." Nyla perched on a stool, smirking. "He looked mad as hell yesterday. Bet he's a jerk." "Probably. But he's a jerk with a fancy car, so I'm playing nice." She slid a cornbread square across the counter. "Eat. You're late for school." Uncle Marvin limped in, cane tapping the linoleum, his gray beard patchy from years of hard living. "Who's this fool you're feeding now, Kenya? Some white boy in a suit?" "He's just a customer, Unc. Chill." She didn't meet his eyes, pouring coffee into a thermos. Marvin had raised her since she was 12, after her mom OD'd and her dad split. He didn't trust outsiders, especially not rich ones. Don't let him think he owns you 'cause he's got money." He grabbed a mug, scowling. "You're too good for that." "I know what I'm doing." She didn't, not really, but she packed the cart anyway. Fresh pies, cornbread, coffee steaming in a beat-up thermal jug. By 7 o'clock, she was on the subway, cart rattling beside her, headed to Midtown. The train smelled like wet clothes and stale weed, commuters glaring as she took up space. She ignored them, replaying Marcus's face in her head. Those eyes, that grip. "Get it together, girl," she muttered. Kane Energy's building was a glass monster, all sharp edges and cold steel, towering over 42nd Street. Kenya felt small, pushing her cart through the revolving doors, her hoodie and jeans screaming, "I don't belong," against the marble lobby. The security guard, a brick wall of a man with a buzz cut, eyed her like she was casing the joint. I'm I'm here for Marcus Kane, she said, shifting the cart. Got his breakfast. He raised an eyebrow, then buzzed the intercom. Lady with a cart for Mr. Kane. A crackly voice replied, Send her up. 35th floor. The guard jerked his head toward the elevators. Don't touch nothing. Wasn't planning to, she shot back, rolling her eyes as she stepped in. The elevator hummed, mirrors reflecting her damp braids in the cart's chipped paint. She tugged her hoodie down, suddenly aware of how her curves pressed against the fabric. This better work, she whispered. The 35th floor opened to a sleek hallway. White walls, glass doors, the kind of quiet that cost money. A receptionist with a tight bun and a blazer sharper than a knife glanced up unimpressed. You're the food girl? Kenya. And yeah, I'm here for Marcus. She forced a smile, parking the cart. Through there. The woman pointed, barely looking up. Kenya pushed the cart forward, the squeak echoing like a damn alarm. She knocked on a heavy door marked M. Kane, CEO, then shoved it open. Marcus sat behind a desk the size of her kitchen, sleeves rolled up, tie loose. He was on the phone, voice clipped. Tell them the deal's off if they don't sign by noon. He hung up, eyes landing on her. You're late. It's 7:32, man. Subway don't run on your schedule. She set the thermos and a foil tray on his desk, the smell of coffee and cornbread spilling out. Double black coffee, sweet potato pie, cornbread. Dig in. He leaned back, crossing his arms. This better not suck. It's hot and black, like me. You'll live. She smirked, unwrapping the foil. His gaze lingered, too long on her hands, then flicked up to her face. She caught it, her stomach flipping, but she didn't flinch. He grabbed the coffee, took a sip, then nodded. Not bad. He tore into the cornbread, crumbs falling on his pristine desk. You make this? Every damn day. Family recipe. She leaned against the cart, watching him eat. Up close, he wasn't just some corporate drone. His shirt clung to his chest, a faint scar ran along his knuckles. She wondered where it came from, then shoved the thought down. Keep it coming, he said, wiping his mouth. Same time tomorrow. Don't fuck it up. Long as you don't call the cops, we're good. She turned to leave, but his voice stopped her. Kenya. She glanced back. He was staring, something unreadable in his eyes. Don't be late again. She grinned, sharp. No promises, Marcus. The door clicked shut behind her, and she let out a breath she didn't know she'd been holding. Her cart squeaked down the hall, but her mind was stuck on him. His voice, his hands, the way he'd said her name. Trouble, she muttered, stepping into the elevator. Big-ass trouble. Back in Harlem that night, Kenya slumped on the couch. Nyla sprawled beside her with a comic. Marvin shuffled in, coughing. How'd it go with Mr. Fancy Car? He didn't sue me yet, so I'm winning. She rubbed her eyes, the day's weight sinking in. Nyla looked up. He cute? Girl, hush. Kenya swatted her, laughing despite herself, but the question stuck. Cute? No. Dangerous? Hell yeah. She closed her eyes, Marcus's face flashing behind her lids, and knew this was just the start. Hey, y'all. How's that for a wild opening? Kenya's got fire, and Marcus ain't ready for it. Drop a pie in the comments if you're hooked, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next. The next few days in Harlem felt like a grind, but Kenya Jackson was used to that. The rain had let up, leaving the streets steamy and the air thick with exhaust and fried chicken from the bodega on the corner. She was up at dawn again, the coffee maker rattling like it was about to quit on her. Nyla was still asleep, curled up under a Spider-Man blanket, while Uncle Marvin sat at the kitchen table, sipping tea and flipping through a yellowed copy of Downbeat magazine. Kenya moved fast, kneading cornbread dough, the smell of sweet potatoes roasting in the oven filling the tiny apartment. "You still feeding that rich boy?" Marvin asked, not looking up. His voice was gravelly, worn from years of chain smoking and late-night gigs. "Yeah, Unc. Keeps him off my ass about the car." She wiped flour off her hands, pouring coffee into the thermos. Her tank top stuck to her skin, sweat beading on her neck from the heat of the stove. He grunted, "Don't let him get too comfortable. Next thing you know, he'll be thinking he owns you. Ain't nobody owning me but these bills." She smirked, packing the cart. Pies stacked high, cornbread wrapped tight, coffee sloshing in the jug. By 6:30, she was out the door, the cart rattling behind her as she hit the subway. The train was packed, some dude in a Knicks jersey blasting music through his phone. But she tuned it out, her mind drifting to Marcus Kane. That damn suit, those hands. She shook her head. "Focus, girl." Midtown hit her like a slap. Too clean, too quiet, all glass and steel swallowing the sky. Kane Energy's lobby was the same sterile bullshit as yesterday, the security guard giving her that same hard stare. "Back again," he said, like she was a stray dog. "Yep, Marcus's breakfast." She rolled the cart past him, his grunt trailing her to the elevator. The ride up was quick, her reflection in the mirror showing a mess of braids and a hoodie zipped halfway over a black tank top that hugged her curves tight. She tugged it down, muttering, "Ain't here to impress nobody." The 35th floor was all business, clicking keyboards, hushed voices, the receptionist with the bun eyeing her like she'd tracked mud in. Kenya didn't knock this time, just pushed Marcus's door open with her hip, the cart squeaking loud enough to make him look up from his laptop. He was mid-call, shirt unbuttoned at the collar, tie slung over his chair. "Push it back to Friday." He snapped into the phone, then hung up, leaning back. "You're late again." 7:34 ain't late, it's fashionably on time. She set the thermos and foil trays on his desk, the rich smell of coffee and soul food cutting through the room's sterile vibe. Double black pie, cornbread, same as yesterday. He grabbed the coffee, eyes flicking over her, quick, sharp, like he was memorizing her. "You look like you ran here." "Subway's a war zone, man. You're lucky I didn't spill this on some fool's lap." She leaned against the cart, arms crossed, watching him sip. His throat moved as he swallowed, and she caught herself staring, heat creeping up her neck. She shifted, annoyed at herself. He tore into the cornbread, crumbs dusting his desk. "This is actually good. Told you, Grandma didn't play about her recipes." She smirked, but his gaze didn't budge. Steady, heavy, like he saw right through her. Her pulse kicked up, and she hated how her body betrayed her, tingling under that look. "Keep it coming," he said, wiping his mouth with a napkin. 7:30 tomorrow. No excuses. Long as you don't snitch, we're cool. She turned to go, but he stood up, stepping around the desk. He was closer now, close enough she could smell him, cologne sharp and warm, mixing with the coffee. Her breath hitched. "Kenya." His voice was low, rougher than before. She froze, glancing back. He wasn't smiling, but his eyes were locked on hers, something simmering there she couldn't name. "Don't fuck this up," she grinned, sharp and quick. "Wouldn't dream of it, Marcus." She hauled the cart out, the door clicking shut behind her. In the hallway, she let out a shaky breath, muttering, "What the hell was that?" By Wednesday, the routine was set. Kenya hauling ass to Midtown, Marcus waiting behind that big-ass desk, coffee and food trading hands like a silent deal. But the air between them kept shifting, getting thicker, harder to ignore. She'd catch him staring, her hands when she poured coffee, her hips when she bent to fix the cart's wobbly wheel. He'd catch her too, lingering on his rolled-up sleeves, the way his shirt stretched over his chest. Neither said shit about it, but it was there, buzzing like a live wire. That morning, she showed up at 7:31, hair damp from a quick shower, tank top clinging under her unzipped hoodie. Marcus was on a call again, pacing by the window, shirt half tucked, tie nowhere in sight. "Tell them the numbers don't lie, cut the deal, or we walk." He hung up, turning as she rolled in. "You're consistent, I'll give you that," he said, nodding at the clock. "Traffic's a bitch. Here's your fuel." She set the thermos down, unwrapping a pie slice. Her fingers brushed the desk, and he stepped closer, too close, reaching for the coffee. His hand grazed hers, warm and rough, and she didn't pull back. Neither did he. The touch lingered, electric, her skin prickling. "You playing a dangerous game, Kane," she said, voice low, eyes locked on his. Her heart thudded, loud enough she swore he could hear it. He smirked, faint but real. "Maybe I like danger." He didn't move, his fingers still ghosting over hers, the air between them crackling. She could smell him. Coffee, cologne, a hint of sweat, and it hit her hard, pooling heat low in her belly. She stepped back, breaking the spell, grabbing the cart like it'd save her. "See you tomorrow," she muttered, heading for the door. His voice stopped her again. "Kenya." She turned. He was leaning against the desk now, arms crossed, watching her like a predator. "Your trouble. Takes one to know one." She flashed a grin and bolted, the cart rattling down the hall. Her legs felt shaky, her mind racing. "Get a grip, girl," she hissed, jabbing the elevator button. But that touch, damn, it stuck with her. Back in Harlem that night, Kenya was frying chicken in the kitchen, grease popping, radio blasting Mary J. Blige. Nyla sat at the table, doodling aliens in her notebook, while Marvin nursed a beer, his cane propped against the wall. The apartment smelled like home. Spices, grease, a hint of Marvin's old spice, but Kenya's head was still in Midtown. "You all right, baby girl?" Marvin asked, eyeing her over his bottle. "You been quiet since you got back." "Yeah, just tired." She flipped the chicken, avoiding his stare. Tired wasn't the word, wired, rattled, horny as hell. Marcus was under her skin, and she didn't know what to do with it. Nyla piped up, not looking up from her drawing. "Mama, can I come with you tomorrow? I want to see the shiny car dude." Kenya laughed, sharp. "Hell no. You'd probably ask him for a ride, and I ain't dealing with that." "She's got a point," Marvin said, smirking. "Kid's nosy as hell. Runs in the family." Kenya plated the chicken, sliding it across to Nyla. "Eat up, lil monster. School tomorrow." Nyla grinned, digging in. "He cute though, right? Girl, what I tell you?" Kenya swatted her with a dish towel, but her cheeks burned. "Cute?" Marcus wasn't cute. He was a problem, a 6'2", tattooed, suit-wearing problem she couldn't shake. Thursday morning, Kenya dragged Nyla along anyway. School was closed for some teacher training bullshit, and Marvin had a doctor's appointment. The subway ride was a circus, Nyla bouncing in her seat, comic book in hand, while Kenya gripped the cart, nerves buzzing. "You stay quiet up there, you hear me?" she said, fixing Nyla's hoodie. "No smart-ass comments." "I'm chill, Mama. Promise." Nyla's grin said otherwise. They hit Kane Energy at 7:35, the lobby guard raising an eyebrow at Nyla. "She with you?" "Yeah, my assistant." Kenya smirked, rolling the cart past. The elevator ride was quick, Nyla whispering, "This place looks like a spaceship." Kenya shushed her, but she was right. Too shiny, too cold. Marcus's office door was cracked open, voices spilling out. Kenya knocked, pushing in, Nyla trailing behind. He was mid-meeting, a woman in a blazer, his assistant probably, scribbling notes. He looked up, freezing when he saw Nyla. "You brought a kid?" "My daughter, Nyla. School's out." Kenya set the coffee down, pie and cornbread next to it. "Say hi, baby," Nyla waved, smirking. "Hey, dude with the shiny car." Marcus blinked, then laughed, a short, rough sound that caught Kenya off guard. "Hey, kid, you eat this stuff too?" "Yep, Mama's the best." Nyla plopped into a chair, pulling out her comic. The assistant cleared her throat. "Mr. Kane, the call. Give me 5. He waved her off, standing. She left, door clicking shut. Marcus grabbed the coffee, eyes on Kenya. "You're full of surprises." "Keeps life interesting." She leaned against the desk, closer than she meant to, her hip brushing his. His gaze dropped, lingering on her curves, and she felt it. Hot, heavy, like a touch. Nyla's presence didn't stop the tension. It just made it quieter, sharper. He sipped the coffee, voice low. "This is good. You're good." "Damn right." She smirked, but her throat was tight, his closeness messing with her head. Nyla flipped a page, oblivious, while Kenya's skin buzzed. "Tomorrow, 7:30, he said, stepping back, breaking the spell. "Bring the kid if you want." "Depends if she behaves." Kenya grabbed Nyla's hand, hauling her up. "Let's roll, lil monster." "Bye, shiny car dude," Nyla called, waving as they left. Marcus's laugh followed them out, and Kenya's heart pounded all the way to the elevator. That night, Kenya couldn't sleep. The apartment was quiet, Nyla snoring, Marvin's TV murmuring through the wall. She lay on the couch, staring at the ceiling, Marcus's voice looping in her head. "You're trouble." Trouble was right. She'd felt his eyes on her, his hand on hers, and it wasn't just about the damn car anymore. She rolled over, muttering, "Fuck me, this ain't good." But deep down, she knew she'd be back tomorrow, coffee in hand, fire in her chest, ready for whatever came next. Friday morning in Harlem hit Kenya Jackson like a brick. Humid, loud, the kind of day where the air stuck to your skin and every horn sounded personal. She was up before the sun, frying cornbread in the kitchen, the sizzle drowning out the faint buzz of Marvin's TV through the wall. Nyla was still out cold, sprawled across the couch with her comic book tented over her face. Kenya moved fast, her hands sticky with dough, sweat beading on her forehead. The thermos was already packed with coffee, pies cooling on the counter, but her head wasn't in it. Marcus Kane had been creeping into her thoughts all week. Those sharp eyes, that low voice, the way he'd looked at her yesterday with Nyla there. She shook it off, muttering, "Ain't got time for this shit." Marvin limped in, Kane tapping, his faded Miles Davis tee hanging loose. "You still running breakfast to that white boy?" he asked, grabbing a mug from the sink. "Yeah, Unc. Keeps the cops off my back." She didn't look up, sliding cornbread into foil. Her tank top clung tight, the straps digging into her shoulders from the heat. He snorted, pouring tea. "He's getting more than coffee out of this, and you know it. Watch yourself, baby girl." "I got it handled." She didn't, not really, but she wasn't about to admit that. The cart was loaded by 6:45, and she was out the door, the wheels rattling over cracked pavement. The subway was a zoo. Some dude blasting trap music, a lady yelling into her phone. But Kenya tuned it out, her mind stuck on Marcus. That graze of his hand, the way he'd said her name. She gripped the cart tighter, muttering, "Get your shit together." Midtown was its usual sterile self, Kane Energy's glass tower looming like it owned the damn sky. The lobby guard barely glanced at her this time, just waved her through with a grunt. The elevator ride was quick, her reflection in the mirror showing a mess of braids and a hoodie unzipped over a red tank top that hugged her curves. She tugged it down, nerves buzzing. Just drop the food and go, she told herself. Marcus's office door was shut when she got there, voices leaking through, sharp, clipped, business bullshit. She knocked once, then pushed in, the cart squeaking loud enough to make him look up. He was behind his desk, tie loose, sleeves rolled up, mid-argument with a guy in a suit. "The Harlem deal's locked. Tell them to sign or we're out," he snapped, then waved the guy off. The suit left, brushing past Kenya with a sneer. "You're late," Marcus said, leaning back, eyes flicking over her. 7:36. "Blame the MTA, not me." She set the thermos and foil trays on his desk, the smell of coffee and soul food hitting the air. Same as always. Coffee, pie, cornbread. "Enjoy." He grabbed the coffee, sipping slow, his gaze steady on her. "You're making a habit of this. Only 'cause you're holding my ass hostage over a dent." She smirked, leaning against the cart, arms crossed. Her tank top shifted, the neckline dipping low, and his eyes dropped, quick, hungry, before snapping back up. She caught it, heat pooling in her chest, but she didn't flinch. He tore into the cornbread, crumbs falling on his papers. "You're good at this. Too good. Gotta be. It's how I eat." She watched him, the way his jaw moved, the faint scar on his knuckles catching the light. Her pulse kicked up, and she hated it. Hated how he got under her skin without even trying. "Keep it coming," he said, wiping his mouth. 7:30 Monday. Don't fuck it up. Long as you don't snitch, we're golden. She turned to go, but a stack of papers on his desk caught her eye. Blueprints, maps, the word Harlem in bold. Her stomach twisted. She stopped, spinning back. "What's that?" He glanced at the papers, then at her, casual as hell. "Work stuff. Why?" "Harlem ain't just work stuff to me." She stepped closer, snatching the top sheet before he could stop her. It was a development plan. Kane Energy buying up blocks on 125th Street, her street, for some fancy-ass commercial project. Her cart's spot was circled in red. "What the fuck is this, Marcus?" He stood, slow, hands in his pockets. "It's business, Kenya. Not personal." "Business?" Her voice rose, sharp, cracking the room's quiet. "You're gentrifying my hood, and I'm out here feeding your ass pie? That's personal as hell when it's my life, motherfucker." He didn't flinch, just crossed his arms. "It's a done deal. Papers are signed. You think I control every block in this city? You control enough to kick me and mine to the curb." She slammed the paper down, stepping up to him, close enough to smell his cologne. Sharp, warm, maddening. Her chest heaved, eyes blazing. "You knew this whole time, didn't you? Playing me like a damn fool." "I didn't play you." His voice stayed low, steady, but his jaw tightened. "You hit my car. I gave you a way out. That's it." "Bullshit!" She jabbed a finger into his chest, hard. "You're tearing my world apart and acting like it's nothing. You think coffee fixes that?" He grabbed her wrist, firm but not rough, pulling her closer. "You don't get it, do you? This is bigger than your cart, bigger than me. It's how shit works." She yanked free, stepping into him, their faces inches apart, breaths mixing. "Fuck how shit works. You don't get to ruin my home and stare at me like I'm your damn dessert." Her voice shook, rage and something else, something hot, raw, crackling between them. His eyes darkened, flicking to her lips, and for a split second she thought he'd kiss her. She wanted him to, and that pissed her off more. Instead, she shoved him, hard, his back hitting the desk. Papers scattered, coffee sloshing. "Stay the hell away from me," she snapped, grabbing the cart. "Deal's off." "Kenya," he started, but she was already gone, the door slamming behind her. The hallway blurred as she stormed to the elevator, chest tight, hands shaking. "Motherfucker," she hissed, jabbing the button. The ride down was a haze, her mind spinning. His grip, his eyes, the way her body had betrayed her even as she'd cursed him out. Back in Harlem, Kenya hauled the cart up the stoop, the wheels clattering loud enough to wake the block. The apartment smelled like Marvin's menthol rub and Nyla's crayons, a mess of normalcy she clung to. She dropped onto the couch, head in her hands, the blueprints burned into her brain. Nyla wandered in, still in pajamas, clutching her comic. "Mama, you okay? You look mad." "Yeah, baby, just a rough day." Kenya forced a smile, pulling Nyla close. "How's my lil monster?" "Fine. Uncle Marvin's napping." Nyla snuggled in, then tilted her head. "Shiny car dude piss you off?" Kenya laughed, sharp. "Something like that. Don't worry about it." The door creaked, and Tanya burst in, big, loud, her braids swinging, nails painted neon pink. She ran the hair salon 2 blocks down, Kenya's ride or die since middle school. "Girl, you look like somebody stole your last dollar. What's up?" Kenya sighed, rubbing her temples. "Marcus, car guy, he's fucking up Harlem, buying land, pushing us out. I've been feeding him all week, and he's stabbing me in the back." Tanya's jaw dropped, then she sucked her teeth. "Oh, hell no. I told you, sis. He's fine, but he'll break you. Rich dudes don't give a damn about us." "I know." Kenya stood pacing. "I lost it up there. Almost decked his ass." "Good," Tanya clapped, grinning. "Should have let me come. I'd have ripped that suit off him, fighting or otherwise." Kenya smirked, but it faded fast. "It's not just the cart, T. It's Nyla, Marvin, the whole damn block. If he takes that spot, we're screwed." Tanya sat, pulling Kenya down beside her. "Then fight it. You're Kenya fucking Jackson. Ain't no suit gonna roll over you." "Maybe." She leaned back, staring at the ceiling. Fighting meant facing him again, and that look in his eyes, anger, hunger, whatever the hell it was, still had her twisted up. Saturday passed in a blur, Kenya baking extra to sell on the corner, Nyla helping, Marvin grumbling about corporate vultures. Sunday, she couldn't avoid it anymore. She dug through the news on her phone, finding articles about Kane Energy's Harlem project, shops closing, rents spiking, her neighbors' names in the fine print. Her chest tightened, rage simmering low. She'd trusted him, just a little, and he'd played her. Monday morning, she was back at Kane Energy. No cart this time. Just a thermos and a foil tray, her last delivery. The lobby guard didn't blink. The elevator ride was silent. She stormed into Marcus's office. No knock, no warning. He was on a call, pacing by the window, shirt untucked, voice sharp. "Close it by noon, or we're done." He hung up, turning as she slammed the coffee down. "Last one," she said, voice cold. "We're through." He raised an eyebrow, stepping closer. "Thought we had a deal." "Deal's off when you're fucking over my home." She tossed the blueprints at him, papers scattering across the desk. "You think I wouldn't find out?" He didn't flinch, just picked up a sheet, scanning it. "You're blowing this up, Kenya. It's not about you. It's my block, my people." She stepped up, close again, her breath hot. "You don't get to decide what's small to me." His jaw tightened, eyes locking on hers. "You don't get how this works. I don't pick the streets. I sign the checks." "Then stop signing." She shoved him again, lighter this time, but he grabbed her arms, pulling her in. Their faces were inches apart, her chest pressed to his, heat radiating between them. His grip was firm, his breath ragged, and she could feel his heartbeat, fast, unsteady. "You're a pain in my ass," he growled, but his eyes dropped to her lips, dark and wild. "And you're a liar." She didn't pull back, her voice trembling with fury and something else. They stood there, locked, the air thick enough to choke on. She wanted to hit him, kiss him, scream, everything at once. His hands tightened, and for a second, she thought he'd close the gap. Instead, she ripped free, stepping back, chest heaving. "Stay out of Harlem. Stay out of my life." She grabbed the empty thermos and bolted, the door banging shut. The elevator ride down was a blur, her hands shaking, his touch still burning on her skin. That night, Kenya sat on the stoop, Nyla asleep inside, Marvin's jazz drifting through the window. Tanya showed up with a beer, plopping down beside her. "You good, sis?" "Nah, but I will be." She took a swig, staring at the streetlights. Marcus's face flashed in her head, those eyes, that grip, and she cursed herself for still feeling it. "He's trouble," Tanya said, nudging her. "But you're tougher." "Damn right." Kenya smirked, but her chest ached. Trouble was an understatement, and she wasn't sure she'd seen the last of it. The week after Kenya Jackson stormed out of Marcus Kane's office, dragged like a bad dream. Harlem buzzed with its usual chaos, kids shouting on the corner, horns blaring, the fried fish joint on 126th Street pumping grease into the air. But Kenya felt off, unmoored. She kept busy baking pies and cornbread for the block, dodging Marvin's questions and Nyla's sidelong glances. The cart stayed parked, its busted wheel a reminder of that damn Porsche and the man behind it. She'd cut him off, told him to stay out of her life. But his face, those eyes, that grip, kept sneaking into her head at night, messing with her sleep. Monday morning, she was elbow-deep in dough, the kitchen hot and sticky, Mary J. Blige crooning low on the radio. Nyla shuffled in, rubbing her eyes, her braids a mess. "Mama, you still mad at shiny car dude?" Kenya snorted, wiping flour off her hands. "Ain't mad, baby. Just done." She slid a cornbread square across the counter. "Eat up. School's calling." Nyla grabbed it, smirking. "He was kinda cool, though, for a rich guy." "Yeah, well, cool don't pay the bills." Kenya turned back to the stove, but Nyla's words stuck. Marcus had been cool with her kid, laughed at her smart-ass comments, didn't blink when she'd crashed his office. It didn't change the Harlem deal, but it made cutting him loose feel messier than she'd expected. Marvin limped in, cane tapping, his voice rough. "You hear anything from that Kane fool?" "Nope, and I don't wanna." She poured coffee into a mug, avoiding his stare. "He's out of my hair." Marvin sat, eyeing her. "You say that, but you look like you missing something." "Missing sleep, maybe." She forced a grin, but his look said he wasn't buying it. She hauled the day's batch to the corner anyway, selling pies under a sagging umbrella, the sun beating down. Every clink of coins felt like a middle finger to Marcus, proof she didn't need his damn deal. But the blueprints, her spots circled in red, gnawed at her. Tuesday night, Tanya swung by, her neon nails flashing as she waved a beer. "Girl, you still sulkin' over that suit?" "Ain't sulkin'," Kenya said, snatching the bottle. They sat on the stoop, the street alive with laughter and bass thumping from a passing car. "Just pissed. He played me, T. He's a shark, sis. Always was." Tanya leaned back, sucking her teeth. "But you held your own up there. Bet he ain't used to that." "Hope he choked on it." Kenya smirked, but her chest tightened. She'd felt him, his hands, his heat, and walking away hadn't erased it. Trouble was, she didn't know if she hated him or herself more for still feeling it. Wednesday hit with a storm rolling in, thunder rumbling over Harlem like a warning. Kenya was back at Kane Energy, not by choice. A last-minute catering gig had come up, some corporate event in Midtown, and the cash was too good to pass. She'd loaded the cart with pies and cornbread, muttering curses the whole subway ride. "If I see his ass, I'm out," she told herself, stepping into the lobby. The guard waved her through, no questions. Guess she was a regular now. The 35th floor was buzzing, suits milling around, trays of shrimp and champagne floating past. Kenya sat up in a corner, her hoodie swapped for a black apron over a tank top, braids pulled back. She kept her head down, serving pies, avoiding eye contact. Then she saw him. Marcus, across the room, tie loose, laughing with some gray-haired exec. Her stomach flipped, and she turned away fast, shoving a tray at a guest. "Sweet potato pie. Get it while it's hot." The lights flickered, once, twice, then went out. A collective groan rippled through the crowd, phones lighting up like fireflies. Thunder cracked outside, rain slamming the windows. Kenya cursed under her breath, fumbling for her phone, the cart a shadow beside her. The room went quiet, then chaotic, people shuffling, voices rising. She stayed put, waiting for the backup lights, but nothing came. "Kenya." His voice cut through the dark, low and close. She froze, her back to him, the air shifting as he stepped up behind her. She could smell him, cologne, sweat, coffee, and it hit her like a punch. "What you want, Marcus?" She didn't turn, her voice sharp, hands gripping the cart. "Thought that was you." He was right there, inches away, his breath brushing her neck. "You're here. Workin'. Not for you." She spun around, squinting in the dim glow of a phone across the room. His face was half lit, jaw tight, eyes locked on her, darker than she remembered. Her tank top clung to her curves, damp from the heat, and his gaze dropped, slow and deliberate. "Still mad?" he asked, stepping closer, his voice rough. "Still an asshole?" She didn't budge, chin up, but her pulse raced. The room faded, suits, chatter, all of it, leaving just them, the storm outside mirroring the one building in her chest. He smirked, faint. "Guess so." His hand brushed her arm, light but electric, and she didn't pull away. "You walked out. Didn't think I'd see you again." "Shouldn't have." She swallowed, her throat dry. "But here we are." "Yeah." He leaned in, close enough she could feel his heat, his breath on her lips. "Here we are." She didn't know who moved first. Maybe her, maybe him. But suddenly her hands were on his chest, his shirt bunched in her fists, and his mouth crashed into hers. It was messy, desperate, teeth clashing, his tongue hot and demanding. She shoved him back against the wall, the cart rattling beside them. Her body pressed to his. His hands slid down her waist, gripping her hips, pulling her tighter. She moaned into his mouth, low and raw, heat exploding through her. "Fuck, Kenya," he growled, breaking the kiss, his lips trailing her jaw, her neck. She arched into him, nails digging into his shoulders, her tank top riding up as his fingers found skin. The dark hid them, the storm drowning out everything but their ragged breaths. She straddled his lap as he sank to the floor, her knees on either side, his hands yanking her closer. Her apron hit the ground, his shirt half open, buttons popping. She rocked against him, hard, feeling him through his slacks, and he groaned, deep and guttural. "You're killing me," he muttered, his mouth on her collarbone, teeth grazing. "Good," she gasped, her hands in his hair, tugging. It was fast, frantic, his belt unbuckling, her jeans sliding down, skin on skin in the dark. He thrust up, and she bit her lip to keep from crying out, the edge of the cart digging into her back. It was messy, sweaty, real, everything she'd been fighting. Then the lights flickered back on. She froze, breath hitching, his hands still on her thighs. The room buzzed back to life, suits turning, voices rising. She shoved off him, scrambling to her feet, yanking her jeans up. "Shit!" she hissed, grabbing her apron, her face burning. Marcus sat there, chest heaving, shirt open, looking wrecked. "Kenya," he started, standing, but she cut him off. "This don't fix shit." Her voice shook, rage and want tangling up inside her. She grabbed the cart, pie tins clattering, and bolted for the door. He didn't follow, just watched her go, his breath still ragged. The elevator ride down was a blur, her legs shaky, her mind screaming. She could still feel him, his hands, his mouth, the way he'd groaned her name. "What the fuck did I just do?" she muttered, stepping into the lobby. The storm outside matched the one in her chest, rain slamming the glass as she hauled the cart into the night. Back in Harlem, Kenya stumbled into the apartment, soaked and rattled. Nyla was at a sleepover, Marvin out at a jazz club, leaving the place quiet, too quiet. She dropped onto the couch, head in her hands, the taste of Marcus still on her lips. Her phone buzzed. Tanya texting, "You good, sis?" She didn't reply, just stared at the ceiling, replaying it all. The door banged open, Tanya storming in, her braids swinging. "Girl, you look like a ghost. What happened?" Kenya laughed, hollow. "I fucked up, T, big time." "Spill it." Tanya sat, cracking a beer, her eyes wide. "Marcus, at the gig, lights went out and—" She trailed off, rubbing her face. "We hooked up, right there, like some damn movie." Tanya's jaw dropped, then she cackled. "Oh, shit! You smashed the suit in his office?" "Some corner, yeah." Kenya groaned, leaning back. "It was hot, T. Too hot. Then the lights came back and I ran." "Damn, girl!" Tanya clapped, grinning. "You wild. He good?" "Too good." She smirked, but it faded fast. "Doesn't change Harlem. Doesn't change him being an asshole." "Nope," Tanya nudged her. "But it means he's in your head, and you're in his. What now?" "I don't know." Kenya took the beer, sipping slow. "I don't trust him, but fuck, I want him." "Trouble," Tanya said, shaking her head. "Big-ass trouble." Thursday crawled by, Kenya dodging the cart, baking just enough to keep the lights on. Nyla asked about Marcus once. "He coming back, Mama?" And Kenya brushed it off, but her kid's eyes saw too much. Marvin caught her staring out the window, muttering, "You're mooning over something, baby girl." She denied it, but he was right. Friday night, she was alone. Nyla at Tanya's, Marvin at the doctor's. The apartment felt heavy, jazz humming low from his old radio. She sprawled on the couch, replaying that blackout. His hands, her moans, the way she'd stopped herself from falling all the way. Her phone sat silent, no calls, no texts. She didn't expect him to reach out, but part of her wanted it, and that pissed her off. A knock jolted her upright. She opened the door, half expecting Tanya, but it was him. Marcus, soaked from the rain, shirt clinging to his chest, eyes dark. "Kenya," he said, voice rough. "We need to talk." Her heart slammed, but she crossed her arms, blocking the doorway. "Ain't nothing to say." "There is." He stepped closer, water dripping onto the floor. "About Wednesday. About Harlem. About us." "Us?" She laughed, sharp. "There's no us, Marcus. You fucked up my world, and I fucked you. That's it." He didn't flinch, just held her gaze. "You're wrong. Let me in." She stared him down, rain drumming outside, her body screaming yes, while her head yelled no. After a long beat, she stepped aside, letting him through, knowing this was the dumbest move she'd ever made. Rain pounded Harlem like it was trying to wash the whole damn place away. Kenya Jackson stood in her doorway, arms crossed, staring at Marcus Kane as he dripped water onto her scuffed linoleum. His shirt clung to his chest, dark hair plastered to his forehead, eyes locked on her with that same intensity that had been screwing with her head since Wednesday. She'd let him in, against every ounce of sense she had, and now he was here, filling her tiny apartment with his presence, the smell of rain and cologne cutting through the lingering scent of cornbread. "Talk fast," she said, voice cold, shutting the door with a thud. "You got 5 minutes before I kick your ass out." Marcus wiped his face, stepping closer, his boots leaving wet prints. "Wednesday wasn't nothing, Kenya. You know that." She laughed, sharp and bitter, leaning against the counter. "Wednesday was a mistake. Heat of the moment. Don't flatter yourself." "Bullshit." He moved toward her, slow, deliberate. "You felt it. Same as me. That wasn't just a hookup." Her chest tightened, his words hitting too close. She could still feel him, his hands on her thighs, his mouth on her neck, the way she'd almost lost herself in that dark corner. She shoved the memory down, glaring. "Doesn't change shit. You're still tearing up Harlem. Still the same asshole who'd rather sign checks than give a damn." He stopped, hands in his pockets, jaw tight. "I'm not here to fight about Harlem. Then why the hell are you here?" She stepped up, close enough to smell him, her tank top loose over her jeans, braids swinging. "To finish what we started? 'Cause that ain't happening." "Maybe." His eyes flicked over her, quick, hungry, then back to her face. "But I'm here 'cause I can't get you out of my head, and I don't think you can either." She snorted, turning away, but her pulse raced. "You're full of it, Marcus. Go sell that line to somebody who cares." He grabbed her arm, not hard, just enough to spin her back. "You care. You're just too pissed to admit it." "Let go." She yanked free, stepping into him, their chests brushing. "You don't get to touch me like that. Not after what you've done." His hands dropped, but he didn't back off, his breath hot. "What I've done is my job. Harlem's a deal. Big money, big stakes. I don't pick the streets, Kenya. I don't." "Then who does?" Her voice rose, cracking the quiet. "Your fancy board? Your investors? 'Cause somebody's fucking over my people and your name's on it." He ran a hand through his wet hair, frustration flashing. "It's not that simple. You think I want this? I'm trying to keep the company afloat, thousands of jobs, not just mine. Cry me a river." She shoved past him, pacing to the couch, her hands shaking. "You don't get it, do you? That cart, that block? It's my life. Nyla's school, Marvin's meds. You're taking that, and you stand here acting like it's nothing." "It's not nothing." He followed, voice low, rough. "I see you, Kenya. I see what it means." "Then stop it." She spun, eyes blazing. "Call it off. Prove you give a damn." He froze, staring at her, rain drumming the windows. "I can't. It's too late." Her stomach dropped, rage boiling over. "Then get the fuck out." She pointed at the door, chest heaving. "Now!" He didn't move, just held her gaze, something breaking in his eyes. "I don't want to. Too bad." She grabbed his arm, shoving him toward the door, but he caught her wrists, pulling her close. Their bodies crashed together, her breath hitching, his grip tight. "Let go, Marcus," she hissed, but her voice shook, heat flooding her. You first, he muttered, his lips inches from hers. She could feel him, hard, warm, wanting, and it pissed her off how much he wanted it too. She shoved him again, harder, and he stumbled back, hitting the wall. A mug fell from the counter, shattering on the floor, coffee splashing everywhere. "Out!" she yelled, pointing, her hands trembling. He stared at her, chest rising fast, then grabbed his jacket and left, the door slamming behind him. She sank onto the couch, head in her hands, the broken mug a mess at her feet. "Fuck," she whispered, the silence swallowing her. The next morning, Harlem woke up gray and heavy. Kenya dragged herself out of bed, the fight with Marcus replaying on loop, his words, his touch, the way she'd almost caved. Nyla was at Tanya's, Marvin still asleep, leaving her alone with her thoughts. She cleaned the kitchen, scrubbing the coffee stain like it'd erase him, but it didn't. Her phone buzzed. An email, no sender, subject line screaming, "Do you really know Marcus Kane?" She opened it, heart pounding. Attachments spilled out, documents, old articles, a list of Kane Energy deals gone south, factory closures in Ohio, layoffs in Detroit, small businesses crushed under his strategic decisions. One hit close. Marvin's buddy, Ray, had lost his auto shop in Brooklyn years back to a Kane project. Lawsuits followed, settled quiet, nothing illegal but cold as hell. Her stomach churned, the words blurring. This was him, ruthless, calculated, the man she'd let touch her. She stormed to Marvin's room, banging the door open. He jolted awake, coughing. "What the hell, baby girl?" "Ray's shop. Kane did that, didn't he?" She held up her phone, voice shaking. Marvin rubbed his eyes, sitting up slow. "Yeah. Bastard bought the lot, flipped it for condos. Ray never recovered. Why didn't you tell me?" She paced, fists clenched. "Didn't know you were tangled up with him till now." He squinted at her. "What's this about?" "I found out. All of it." She sank onto his bed, showing him the email. "He's a fucking monster, Unc." Marvin scanned it, grunting. "Ain't surprised. That's how they roll. Money over everything." She stood, pacing again. "I let him in. Wednesday, I messed up." His eyes softened, but his voice stayed hard. "You didn't know. Now you do. What you gonna do? End it. For real this time." She grabbed her jacket, storming out, the email burning a hole in her pocket. Monday morning, Kenya was back at Kane Energy, no cart, just the email printed out and a fire in her gut. The lobby guard didn't stop her, the elevator ride a blur of rage. She burst into Marcus's office, no knock, papers in hand. He was behind his desk, mid-call, shirt untucked, voice sharp. "Close it by noon, or we're done." He hung up, looking up as she slammed the pages down. "What the hell's this?" he asked, leaning back, eyes narrowing. "You tell me." She pointed at the papers, voice trembling. "Factory shut, jobs lost, Ray's shop, my uncle's friend. You ruined lives, and I let you touch me?" He stood, slow, scanning the sheets. "Where'd you get this?" "Doesn't matter. It's you, ain't it?" She stepped closer, chest heaving. "All this time you're some corporate grim reaper, and I'm the idiot feeding you pie." He tossed the papers down, jaw tight. "That's old shit, Kenya. I was a different man then." "Bullshit!" She grabbed a coffee mug off his desk and smashed it on the floor, shards flying. "You're still him. Harlem's proof. You don't change, you just hide it better." He stepped around the desk, hands up. "I'm trying, all right? I've been trying since you walked in here." "Trying?" She laughed, sharp, tears stinging her eyes. "You don't try with people's lives, Marcus. You do or you don't, and you don't." He grabbed her arms, pulling her close, his voice low. "You don't get it. I'm not that guy anymore. You're why. She ripped free, shoving him back. Don't you dare put that on me. I ain't your redemption arc. Her voice broke, rage and hurt spilling out. We're done. For real this time. Kenya! He reached for her, but she slapped his hand away, grabbing the papers and storming out. The door banged shut, the hallway a blur as she hit the elevator, tears streaming down her face. She didn't care who saw. Let them stare. Her chest ached, his words echoing. You're why. But it wasn't enough. It'd never be enough. Back in Harlem, Kenya collapsed on the couch, the apartment quiet except for Marvin's jazz humming low. Nyla burst in from Tanya's, dropping her backpack. Mama, you crying? Nah, baby, just tired. She wiped her face, pulling Nyla close. How's my lil monster? Okay. Nyla hugged her tight, then pulled back. Shiny car dude again? Yeah. Kenya sighed, ruffling her braids. He's gone now. For good. Nyla nodded, grabbing her comic, but her eyes said she didn't buy it. Tanya showed up an hour later, plopping down with a beer. Girl, you look like hell. What happened? Found out who he really is. Kenya handed her the papers, voice flat. He's a wrecking ball, T. Always has been. Tanya skimmed them, sucking her teeth. Damn. And you smashed that? Worst part? Yeah. Kenya leaned back, staring at the ceiling. I'm done, though. He's out. Good. Tanya nudged her. You're enough, sis. Fuck him. Yeah. Kenya smirked, but her chest still hurt, a hollow ache she couldn't shake. Tuesday night, a knock woke her. She stumbled to the door, half asleep, expecting Tanya. It was Jamal, her ex, Nyla's dad, leaning on the frame, all charm and trouble. 6 feet of lean muscle, dreads tied back, that grin she used to fall for. Hey, Ken. Missed you. What you want, Jamal? She crossed her arms, blocking him. It's late. Came to see my girl. He stepped closer, voice smooth. Heard you been running with some rich dude. That true? None of your damn business. Her stomach twisted. He'd always had a knack for showing up when she was down. It is if he's around Nyla. His grin faded, eyes hard. I want her, Ken. Custody. She's mine, too. She laughed, cold. You ain't seen her in a year and now you want custody? Get the fuck out of here. I'm serious. He leaned in, close enough she could smell his weed. I'll take you to court if I have to. Try it. She shoved him back, slamming the door. Her hands shook as she locked it, his threat sinking in. Marcus was gone, but now this, life piling on like it knew she was breaking. Wednesday, Kenya sat on the stoop, Nyla asleep inside, Marvin's radio humming. Tanya joined her, silent for once, just passing a beer. You good, sis? Nah, Jamal's back. Wants Nyla. She took a swig, voice low. And Marcus, I can't stop thinking about him, T. Even after all this. Trouble on top of trouble. Tanya shook her head. You're tougher than this, though. Always have been. Maybe. Kenya stared at the streetlights, Marcus's face flashing, his grip, his groan, his lies. She was done, but the ache said otherwise, and now Jamal was circling like a vulture. What the hell do I do now? Harlem simmered under a gray dawn, the kind of quiet that felt heavy after days of chaos. Kenya. Jackson woke up on the couch, her neck stiff, the apartment silent except for the faint hum of Marvin's radio. Nyla was still asleep, sprawled across her bed with a comic tented over her chest, and Marvin's snores rumbled through the wall. Kenya rubbed her eyes, Jamal's threat from last night clawing at her. "I'll take you to court." And Marcus's face still haunting her, his words from that email burning holes in her skull. She'd cut him loose, smashed his mug, walked away, but the ache in her chest wouldn't quit. She grabbed her phone, staring at the screen. No messages, no calls. "Good," she muttered, tossing it aside. But it didn't feel good. The kitchen smelled like yesterday's grease, dishes piled in the sink. She started coffee, the machine rattling like it was on its last legs, and pulled out dough for cornbread. Baking was her anchor, Grandma's recipes, the one thing she could control. Her tank top stuck to her skin, braids loose, and she moved slow, hands kneading, mind spinning. Jamal wanted Nyla. Marcus had wrecked lives. She'd fucked up letting him in, and now her world was cracking. "Get it together, girl," she hissed, slamming the dough down harder than she meant to. Nyla shuffled in, rubbing her eyes, her Spider-Man pajamas wrinkled. "Mama, you up early again?" "Yeah, baby." Kenya forced a smile, sliding her a cornbread square. "Eat up. School soon." Nyla perched on a stool, nibbling. "You okay? You look sad." "Just tired, lil monster." She ruffled Nyla's braids, but her kid's eyes were too sharp, seeing through the lie. "How you holding up?" "Fine." Nyla shrugged, then grinned. "Shiny car dude's gone, huh?" "Yep, gone for good." Kenya turned back to the stove, her throat tight. She wanted that to be true, but Marcus's grip, literal and not, still lingered, and Jamal's shadow loomed bigger every minute. Marvin limped in, cane tapping, his voice rough. "You still moping over that cane, fool?" "Ain't moping, Unc." She poured him coffee, avoiding his stare. "Just dealing with life." "Mm-hmm." He sat, sipping slow. "And Jamal?" "Heard him banging on the door last night." She sighed, leaning on the counter. "Wants Nyla. Says he'll fight me for her." Marvin's jaw tightened, his mug clinking hard on the table. "That punk ain't got no claim. You tell him to step off." "I did. He ain't listening." She rubbed her temples, the weight piling on. "I'll handle it." "You better." He eyed her, soft but firm. "You're stronger than this, baby girl. Don't let him break you." "I won't." She smirked, faint, but her chest ached. Stronger didn't feel true. Not today. Midday, Kenya hit the corner with her cart, the busted wheel fixed enough to roll. The block buzzed, kids kicking a ball, old heads smoking on stoops, music thumping from a car. She sold pies and cornbread under her umbrella, coins clinking, but her eyes kept darting, half expecting Jamal's dreads or Marcus's suit. Tanya swung by, her braids swinging, nails flashing neon green today. "Girl, you look like you're waiting for the apocalypse," Tanya said, grabbing a pie slice. "Jamal still fucking with you?" "Yeah." Kenya handed her change, voice low. "Threatening court now." Tanya sucked her teeth loud. "He's bluffing. Ain't paid a dime for that girl in years." "Maybe." Kenya shrugged, wiping her hands on her apron. "But he's got that snake charm. Could turn a judge." "Then fight dirty." Tanya grinned, fierce. "You got me, Marvin. The whole damn block. He don't stand a chance." Kenya laughed, weak but real. "Thanks, T. Needed that." "Always, sis." Tanya nudged her. "And Marcus? You still twisted up over him?" "Nah." She lied, quick, but Tanya's look said she wasn't fooled. "He's history." "Mm-hmm. Keep telling yourself that." Tanya swaggered off, leaving Kenya with her thoughts and a line of customers. History didn't feel like history when she could still taste him. That night, the rain came back, soft but steady, drumming the windows. Nyla was at Tanya's for a sleepover. Marvin out at a jazz spot, leaving Kenya alone. She sprawled on the couch, flipping channels, the TV's glow flickering over her face. Her phone buzzed, an unknown number, a text. Check your email, important. Her gut twisted, but she opened it, finding another anonymous message, subject, Kane's next move. It was short. A leaked memo from Kane Energy, dated yesterday. Marcus had pulled the Harlem deal, rerouting funds to community reparations instead. No details, just his signature at the bottom, bold and sharp. She stared, rereading, her breath catching. What the hell? She muttered, scrolling back. Another attachment. Bank records, transfers from his personal account, millions tagged for past project damages. Ohio, Detroit, Brooklyn, Ray's shop included. She dropped the phone, hands shaking. He'd done it. Called it off, paid up, all after she'd walked out. Her chest tightened, rage and relief tangling up. "Why now?" she whispered. But she knew. "You're why," he'd said. She didn't want to believe it, didn't want him to matter. But this was real. A knock rattled the door, loud over the rain. She stood, slow, expecting Tanya or Marvin forgetting his key. She opened it, and there he was. Marcus, soaked through. A black hoodie replacing his suit. A tray of lumpy cornbread in his hands. His eyes were tired, dark, but steady. "Kenya," he said, voice rough, rain dripping off his hood. "Can I come in?" She crossed her arms, blocking him, her heart slamming. "What you doing here?" "Trying to fix shit." He held up the cornbread, faint smirk. "Made this? It's awful, but it's a start." She stared, then stepped aside, letting him in. He set the tray on the counter, water pooling around his boots, and turned to her, hands in his pockets. "I killed the Harlem deal. Sent money back. Ray, the others. It's done." "Saw that." She nodded at her phone, voice flat. "Don't mean I trust you." "I know." He stepped closer, slow. "I fucked up. Years ago. With you. All of it. I'm not that guy anymore, Kenya. I'm trying to be better. For you." She laughed, sharp. "You think cornbread fixes this? Fixes me?" "No." His voice softened, eyes locked on hers. "But I hope you'll let me try." Her throat tightened, his closeness stirring her up. Rain-soaked, raw, real. "You don't get it, Marcus. Jamal's back, wants Nyla. My world's falling apart, and you're part of that." He flinched, jaw tight. "Jamal? Your ex?" "Yeah." She paced, hands on her hips. "Showed up last night, talking custody. You're out, but he's in, and I'm stuck. Let me help." He grabbed her arm, gentle this time, pulling her to face him. "I've got lawyers, money, whatever you need." "I don't need your damn charity." She yanked free, stepping into him, chest brushing his. "I fight my own battles." "I know you do." His hands hovered, not touching, his breath warm. "But you don't have to alone." She stared, tears stinging, his words cracking her open. "Why you doing this? Why now?" "'Cause I'm in love with you." He said it plain, no hesitation, his eyes dark and sure. "Been falling since that damn cart hit my car. I'm not running from it anymore." Her breath caught, the room spinning. "You don't get to say that. Not after everything." "Too late." He smirked, faint, stepping closer. "I'm saying it. Deal with it." She shoved him, light, but he caught her hands, pulling her in. Their lips crashed, hard and messy, her fists unclenching in his grip. He tasted like rain and regret, and she hated how right it felt. She broke away, gasping, her tank top riding up, his hands on her waist. "This don't mean I'm yours," she muttered, but her body pressed to his said different. "Fair enough." He kissed her again, softer, his fingers tracing her spine. She let him, just for a minute, then pulled back, wiping her eyes. "Slow down, Kane. We got shit to figure out." "Yeah." He nodded, stepping back, hands up. "One step at a time." The next morning, Kenya woke to sunlight cutting through the blinds. Marcus gone, a note on the counter. "Lawyer's number. Call if you want. I'm here." She smirked, tucking it away, then got Nyla ready for school, Marvin grumbling about the noise. Days blurred, Kenya baking, selling, dodging Jamal's calls. Marcus showed up every night. No suit, just jeans and takeout, sitting on her stoop like he belonged. Nyla started calling him cornbread dude, and Marvin warmed up slow, muttering, "He ain't half bad." Kenya kept him at arm's length, but the wall was crumbling. A week later, she got another email. Eleanor Kane, Marcus's mom, the ice queen herself. "Meeting. Tomorrow. My office." Attached was a proposal, a fund for black women entrepreneurs, Harlem-based, with Kenya's name at the top. She stared, jaw tight, then called Marcus. "Your mom?" she asked, voice sharp. "Yeah," he sighed over the phone. "She's got a past. Single mom, broke as hell once. She saw your fire, wants in. You don't have to say yes." "She's a bitch," Kenya said, but her mind raced. "I'll think about it." She met Eleanor, sharp suit, sharper tongue, but the woman's eyes softened when she talked about the fund. "You're not my son's toy, Ms. Jackson. You're a force. Lead this or don't. Your call." Kenya took it on her terms, no strings. She'd run it, build it, keep Harlem hers. Marcus backed off the business side, showing up instead with coffee, cornbread, quiet nights on her couch. Jamal faded. Marcus's lawyer shut him down, no fight left. Months later, Kenya stood in her kitchen, Nyla at the table, Marvin humming jazz. Marcus walked in, sleeves rolled up, a tray of half-decent cornbread in hand. "Getting better," he said, grinning. "Still trash," she teased, but she kissed him, slow and sure, her hands on his chest. Nyla gagged, Marvin laughed, and the apartment felt full, messy, loud, hers. They didn't marry, didn't need to. He moved in, cramped couch and all, trading Midtown for Harlem. The fund grew, her cart stayed, and Jamal vanished. One night, tangled on the sofa, she murmured, "You're still an asshole, but you're mine." "Works for me," he said, pulling her close. Outside, Harlem pulsed, alive, unbroken theirs. Y'all, Kenya and Marcus made it through the fire. From a crash to a choice, they built something real. Drop your feelings in the comments. What did you learn from their story? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next